Good day, beautiful people. It's Pimo AK today. I appreciate y'all checking in on me and taking some time out of your busy day to watch this particular video, okay? So, I'm here today to talk to you guys about quote-unquote black on black crime, okay? And you know how I like to bring forth the data, the facts, and the statistics to back up what I'm about to say. I want to say that right off the bat. This is not going to be about vibes and emotions and all these rants. This is going to be about the actual data. Now, whether you can deal with the data or not is on you, but we have to bring forth the truth, okay? We have to bring forth the truth, and the truth must prevail, okay? The truth must prevail, okay? I have my blink cameras on outside going off. I have the sensitivity too high. 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my sensitivity so that we can get this thing going without interruption. Okay, I turn the settings up at night. So, I spoke a moment ago about these vibes, right? The vibes. I'll start this out just like this here. So, there is no other racial demographic of people in the United States who have a term that refers to crime that they commit against their own people. Only black people, only black Americans have this term called black on black crime. Now, black on black crime obviously involves a crime where a black person is harming another black person, okay? It's almost romanticized within certain elements of black culture to display and show this aggressive criminal nature, right? In certain rap music, certain rappers who are very popular with millions and millions of followers and subscribers, they talk every song about killing another black man, another black person, right? This is intrinsic. This is a part of the matrix theology that exists within our culture, okay? This is not black culture. This is what people have to understand. See, people who've never really if you're not a black person and you're not really in it and you don't have good role models or good people around you, you might think, oh, this is how black people are. See? And this is where the problem begins, and it festers and it grows because of misinformation, because of narratives and stereotypes that are always pushed about black people. But are those narratives and are those stereotypes true? Why do we never hear the term? Why is there no term white on white crime? Why is there no Asian on Asian crime? Why is there no Latino on Latino crime? Is it because it doesn't happen? No, that's not why. That's not why. There's only black on black crime. Why? Here's the question, is why? Some would argue that the reason why the term exists is because black people commit more crimes against themselves than other groups of people commit against themselves. The plain Jane truth about that is that if you're going to get violently assaulted by anyone, most likely it's going to be somebody within your own racial demographic of people, okay? That's true for all races of people. All races of people commit more crimes against their own people than they do against other races of people, okay? So again, is it because black people commit more crime? Well, this is what this information that we're going to study and cover in the next few minutes here will let you guys know and plug you in on and find out if, in fact, we are over romanticizing this idea of black people just savagely killing one another. Because that is the narrative that you see pushed in these YouTube streets. That is the narrative that you see pushed in our popular society. Personally, I believe that I would say this. I believe that there's some merit to it. There is black on black crime. But the way that we romanticize it, in my opinion, is completely it's well outside of proportion. Well far outside of proportion. In some ways, this might be the black community's way of saying we're tired of the nonsense. Y'all need to get it together. But on the other hand, what it does is it taints the image of an already tainted group of people, particularly black men and black women as well too, right? Okay, so with no further ado, let's get right into this article. And I'm gonna share my screen with you all here to show you guys the info. Okie doke. Hopefully y'all can see my screen here, all right? And I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here. Perfect. So again, Where are we getting this information from, right? What is the source of the information? This is the U.S. Department of Justice, okay? Office of Justice Programs, okay? Federal government-backed, of course, program. And this is the study that has the most recent data from the year 2020. And of course, this is the law enforcement and juvenile crime rate, arrests and offenses by age and race. Now, they do have juvenile statistics, and they do also have adult statistics or all ages statistics. One thing I noticed as we go through this, and I don't want to spend too much time on the juvenile aspect of it, but the juvenile aspect of it was actually worse, meaning that black youth are more at risk for committing crime than are adult black male in relationship to the entire population and other different races of people. One thing you all should know here is for white, I believe that they're including Hispanics in with the category of white, and I say that because there is no Hispanic group here. And racially, a lot of times Hispanic people fall into the category of white, at least in American, the way that they track data. But what we're gonna focus on is going to be the adult numbers, okay? The adult numbers. And we're gonna use a little bit of simple mathematics here as well to get some calculations. Now, you've heard it said that black people represent 13% of the population, right? 13% of the population. So you could gauge our criminality as a whole by using that number. And if the rate of crime is higher than our population percentage, then that means that we are, as a people, in somewhat of a dangerous position, right? We're a people that are moving the wrong direction or are currently in the wrong path. See, this video is not to say that black folks are not out here committing crime. I'd be a damn liar if I told you that. I live in a predominantly black community, surrounded by black people all the time, and there's not an enormous amount of crime that takes place with black people, but there are instances, there have been situations where black folks commit crime. It's a part of life, right? When you go to prison, you see all different races of people though, right? So we're here to put all of this in perspective using data, okay? So over here on the left, this breaks down all different types of offenses: murders, rape, robbery, assault, and different things like this, burglary. All these different types of crimes are broken down here. Property crimes, all these things, okay? So right off the bat, there are no areas where black people outnumbered the quote-unquote white demographic in terms of total crime. But the one that really stands out, for me, and I think is the worst, was this this robbery number, okay? The total number of robberies committed by all races of people, and this is by arrest, is 55,900 in the year 2020. And basically half of those came from black people. Black people committed half of all robberies in the year 2020. Now, that is quite significant, and again, we're going straight, we're shooting straight here, okay? This needs to change, okay? What this tells me as a black man myself is that, a lot of black men, a lot of black people in general, like, first of all, you gotta take your life serious. You gotta take your life serious. You gotta understand that you have to create your lane. You have to understand that your circumstances won't change until your mindset changes. It's very important for people to understand that. See, some people want their circumstances to change without doing the work to bring forth the change. No, your mindset have to change first before your circumstances change. See? Some people just want their circumstances to change, and it don't work like that, okay? If you're in a certain circumstance that you don't like, you need to do some things to change them. And what that does not include and what that should not involve is robbing other people, okay? Now, the thing about that is when you rob people, you also commit other crimes at the same damn time. It's way more likely that a murder is gonna happen if you're trying to rob somebody, or that fraud or forgery or embezzlement or stolen property, vandalism, all these things are going to happen and can happen in the commission of a robbery. So this is the most alarming number that I look at in comparison to everything else that I see here. And this needs to change. Now, honestly, I'm not that surprised, because I know that a lot of black people, a lot of my people, and even myself personally, when I was a very young man, we find ourselves at different points in time in our lives going through very precarious situations, very weird circumstances where we are struggling and on the edge, and we need money to do certain things, right? We know about generational wealth and the wealth gap in America. We know that black folks are somewhere near the bottom of that. Okay, we don't receive inheritance. Every generation starting from zero. And that is the reason why this number is as bad as it is, because we're not passing anything down in terms of legacy to our future generations. Again, every generation starting from zero. That must change. There's no excuse. There's no reason why every generation of black people should be starting from nothing here in America, particularly growing up in the ghettos and different things like that should not be happening. And I think that that's going to drastically change in a major way in the next 10 to 15 years. You're gonna see a huge shift. I believe that people that are like my age and a little bit younger than me, when they pass or when they get older and so forth, like we're leaving some things behind for our families, right? Because we've now educated ourselves in terms of how finances and credit and things like this actually work, right? The laws are now in our favor. And this is where I have to go here, because again, we're talking about robbery. Why do people rob people? Sometimes people have a fetish for robbing, but for the most part, you're robbing somebody because you're in a desperate situation, right? So again, different laws that used to exist to keep black people from lending from banks to get real estate in neighborhoods so that you can build this generational wealth so that your family don't have to start from nothing every single generation, right? This is the type of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that our people need to change some of this information, right? So I've brought forth a problem and I've illustrated a solution. I'm giving you all hope because I know just from what I know that this will improve in the future, okay? Drastically, okay? Now let's talk about the big picture though here. The big picture is on all offenses, okay? And when you look at all offenses across the United States in 2020, you see 7,208,180 total offenses, okay? We're gonna do some quick math here to get some understanding, okay? So of that 7 million, 1.8 million were committed by black people, okay? So we're gonna take that 1,854,770, we're gonna divide that by that 7,208,100. Oh, my bad. My fingers is too fat. 1,854,770 divided by 7,208,180. And what that gives us is this number here, okay? Nearly 26, okay? So nearly 26% of all crimes were committed by black people. 13% of the population, 26% of all crimes. Now these are arrests, which obviously you need probable cause to arrest somebody, right? So we're just gonna assume that this is valid, okay? So what does that tell us? That tells us that there's a lot of opportunity for our people to improve and not commit these crimes. And where the biggest improvement needs to happen, in my opinion, is in this area of robbery. Then also too, when you get into things like aggravated assault, where else here? Oh, weapons charges. And we know how we are as black folks. You know what I'm saying? We feel all the time that we need to protect ourselves, but you have to follow the law as it pertains to doing such. And we see here that black people and white folks nearly have the same amount of weapons charges in the year 2020. That's a big problem. Prostitution as well too, right? You know, and different things like this. But this is where we as a people have to improve our ways of getting down, okay? We gotta change these things. There's a legal way to accomplish all the things that you need to accomplish. You just need to have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to go about handling your business, right? So, okay, brother, you feel you need to have a weapon. Hopefully, by the grace of God, you ain't got no felonies, right? If you ain't got no felonies, you gotta go purchase your weapon the legal route. You know what I'm saying? It's not a problem. We have Second Amendment rights. This is America. but you have to follow the law as it pertains to these things, okay? Otherwise, these numbers are going to be a testimony against, us collectively, right? So again, 24% of all crimes. Now, the way black on black crime, the way black criminality is marketed to the world, you would think that black people commit at least 50% of all crimes. You would think that black people committed the majority of crimes in America. You would think that based on the way that the black man is constantly painted as this criminal. So what you really have in our modern world, in the matrix, I like to call it, is what I call a fear of blackness, right? A lot of times black men are bigger, sometimes more imposing looking, more dominant looking. And I think that sometimes puts people at ease a little bit, or not at ease, but makes people a little bit uncomfortable. Then you already got the black skin, and we already serious in the face about life. We ain't had it easy, and it shows. The vibe coming off of us is, I've gone through some stuff in life. That scares people, right? We're scaring people. That's what's really going on. People are scared. But again, is it reasonable? This is what we're here to talk about. Now, I can't tell another human being how to feel. I can just give you the information and let you make your own conclusions based on what you see before you, okay? Again, not denying the fact that there's not opportunity for our people to do a lot better. But when you look at the fact that we as 13% of the population are committing only 24% of the crime, even though it's a lot more than our population and it needs to come down, it's not the majority of crime in America. It's not nowhere near the majority of crime. It's half of the majority of crime, less than half of the majority of crime, well, half of the majority of crime in America, okay? But there are certain opportunities that we have in certain areas where it does need to improve. So I want to leave you guys with this information, okay? Let you guys toss this around within yourselves. Are you content with this as a man, as a woman? Are you content with this information? And if you're not, what are you going to do about it, right? What are you going to do about it? I said that this robbery number will go down because we as a people have become more educated in terms of finances and have access to things that our ancestors didn't have access to, right? So what this is telling us is that literacy and knowledge and proficiency, right? The ability to demonstrate, the ability to execute on what you know is the way that you can eliminate some of this crap, okay? So this is what we need. We need more education in our communities. We need to educate our people on how to be more successful and provide those opportunities for the people. We need to stop with the glamorization of violence and violent crime in our music and in our community. What I believe should be done in every black community across America is that if you have gang members in your community who are active and engaged in criminal activity, particularly in a way that is obvious, then you need to handle that situation. You need to handle it, okay? You need to handle it. I can't tell you exactly how you handling that is going to work because it's going to be different for different communities. Different rules, different politics are going to apply to different communities. But every community, and I should say this, that no community that is black in America should be unsafe. Our people should not feel unsafe. Our people should not have to deal with hoodlums and hooligans running around here committing crimes, no. So what did I do and what do we do in this community as someone with some level of authority? I make sure those problems are taken care of. I don't care if they're black, white, Hispanic, I don't give a damn what they are. If they're involved in unlawful activity, I'm gonna start working, I work them. I'm gonna start working them. And that's what I believe that needs to happen. We need defenders in our community. Not men who are gonna get successful and run off to predominantly non-black communities. We need black men who are going to be defenders of the black community, defenders and educators of our communities. That is how you change the culture immediately. And I can speak from firsthand experience that me doing exactly what I've just explained to you has changed the culture of this community here in a big way. And it's only getting better. It's only going to get better. And you can do the same thing, but you got to get involved. You got to get active. And the more we do that, the more this narrative will change. And then eventually, this quote unquote vibe, the matrix teaching that black folks are just criminals, it's gonna have to bow down to the truth. See, we're not quite there yet. We at a place where it's like, okay, it's getting reasonable. It's getting reasonable, okay? But there's still work to do. There's still work to do, family. And it starts with us. It starts with you, as a man, stepping up and doing what you're supposed to do as one. You understand me? It's not anybody else's job or responsibility to sow into our communities as much as it is ours. And I don't mean, when I say ours, I'm talking about black men. All right? So I'm gonna leave this there. Hope you guys enjoyed this information. Feel free to, share it, like the video, of course, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, be sure to do that. And of course, hit the bell icon, that way you get notified when the latest content is released. All right? Y'all have a beautiful, blessed day, beautiful people. Till we chat again, it's Urban Politics, and I'm checking out on y'all. Go.